I want to talk about emotional disconnect between the players and their characters in the game. Imagine the perfect gaming situation. The players on the edge of their seats, hanging on your lips, waiting for every word. They're cheering with every good roll, they're cursing with every bad roll. Maybe they are standing up, they are excited, they are in the game. And then this tension, it snaps. It's just gone. And you as a GM don't really know what went wrong, where you lost them, and you try to pile on more action, more horror, more excitement, and it just doesn't work anymore. That is what I call the emotional disconnect. It's not like I've studied this phenomenon or anything. It's just something I've observed and experienced as a player myself. For example, we were running a very dark fantasy campaign, and there were monsters, poverty, the government was corrupt, everything was generally shite. And at some point, I really didn't care anymore. Just bring it on, bring more monsters, kill all the NPCs I supposed to like. I don't care anymore. Let's just roll this. Let's get this over with. At some point, it was just too much. Too much for me to still be invested in my own character. And I find this can happen with horror too. If you are either doing tense horror situations too long, or if you're overdoing it, going past the limit of your players, they will disconnect from the character, they will sit back and they still play probably, but they won't be emotionally invested anymore. They're just going through the motions at this point. That can also happen with action scenes. If you're running one tense action scene, one pitched battle after the other, at some point the players will just be rolling the dice and won't be invested anymore. You're just overdoing it. You have to put a bit of variety in there. After an action scene, you have to have a slow scene where not only the PCs but also the players can recuperate, take a breath, and prepare for the next action scene. Same with horror. If you're running horror all the time, if you're running scary things all the time, horror becomes the normal. You have to have scenes that are quite mundane and slow-paced, and there are some human interaction between the players, between PCs and NPCs, something that is very normal. Maybe just going shopping, going to a cafe, eating, talking about something, maybe a romance subplot, anything that has not to do with the supernatural, with the horror. So when you come back to it, it's still a stark contrast to the mundane world. It's still fresh and horrible. Find that classic dungeon crawling fantasy easily falls into a good rhythm between action, tense exploration, and recuperation because of how many dungeons, how the game is set up. So you got these tense moments when you're exploring the dungeon, looking for traps, maybe solving puzzles. Don't know what is ahead, what might be lurking in the darkness. Then you got pitched action when you get into a fight. Maybe it's a very hard fight, maybe you even have to flee. And then you've got this period of slow recuperation when the party is recovering their hit points, when they're making camp. Maybe they even go back to town and spend 30 minutes or an hour just shopping and flirting with the tavern maid. Something like that. Of course, you could start right in the dungeon, in the first room, in the first battle, and then have a battle in every room and nothing else. That would be boring. But you would know that that would be boring. So you would mix it up a bit. But you have to mix up other genres, other role-playing situations as well. Too much of anything, even too much of a good thing, becomes stale and boring at some point. That's all I really wanted to talk about today. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.